This is Mr. Elmhorst with the health video for the ratios, rates, and proportions test review, the minor grade. So as we go through each one of these questions, we're going to focus on the strategy of identifying what is the comparison ratio being made. So the first one, we have pounds and hours. So we're going to set up our ratio table. We're going to focus on the labels being in the middle instead of rewriting them on both sides. So we got pounds and hours. So that is the comparison being made. Now we pull the ratio out. So the given ratio is 8 pounds, 3 hours. And then we go to the prediction, the solve, and it says 216 pounds. Now, because we wrote pounds on top, we're going to put 216 on top. And then X is what we are going to solve for, the unknown number of hours. So please write that ratio on your sheet of paper, pencil to paper. Now we're going to go in and find the factor. We need to find what was pounds multiplied by to get 216. So I'm going to go over here and we're going to divide 216 divided by 8 so we can find the factor to multiply. And then after we find the factor, then we are going to multiply that factor times 3. 8 goes into 21 2 times. 2 times 8, 16. 21 minus 16 is going to be 56. That's 7. So 8 goes into 27, 50, or 8 goes into 56 27 times. So we go up there, we use division to help us find the factors. But I want to emphasize that when pounds, the part of the ratio of pounds multiplied by 27 means you're going to multiply the hours by 27 also. Okay, continuing with the video on number 2, we're going to focus on the comparison within the context. So number 2, we have favorite types of movies, and it's focusing on romance and sci-fi. So we're going to fill out our proportion table, identifying the ratio of what's being compared, romance and sci-fi. So this one, the context, if you haven't written that down, write it down now. The context is a survey and a graph. So we need to go in there and identify what are the amounts of the initial survey. So we read the bar graph. There's 6 romance selected, and there's 4 sci-fi. So romance to sci-fi is 6-4. Then we go up into the given information where the question is, and we keep the associated labels with the numbers. So 6 romance on top, so 54 romance. We're going to compare romance. By what factor did we multiply 6 by to get 54? Don't blurt it out. If you don't know what you multiplied by, you can divide by 6. Then write your factor into the proportion table to complete your proportion. Number 3, Stephen earns $58 after working 4 hours. So if we take a look at that, we have dollars being compared to hours. Dollars and hours, we have the starting rate of $58 for 4 hours. And I believe it's asking for 7 hours. It's out of the screen. So there's 2 ways you can do this. You can divide 7 divided by 4, or we can do 58 divided by 4. So then you can find the factor going back the other way. So we're going to take the given rate divided by the hours to find out what the factor is so we can multiply by 7 hours. $58 divided by 4, and then we're going to multiply by 7. 4 goes into 5 one time. 1 times 4 is 4. Bring the 8 down. 4 goes into 18 4 times. 4 times 4 is 16. Remainder of 2. We have a remainder. The remainder does not go up in the decimal spot. A 0 goes in a decimal place value, and we bring that down. And then 4 goes into 20 5 times. So Stephen earns $14.50 for 1 hour. So now you're going to take 1450 or 14.5 and multiply that by 7 to calculate an equivalent rate of how much would he earn after 7 hours.
Okay.
Continue with number 4. So we're going to look through problem number 4 and identify what is the ratios and what are all the comparisons being made. So we have cookies, chocolate chip, and then not chocolate chip. So we can just do CC, not CC, and cookies, which is the total. So we go through the word problem and we identify what is the ratio comparison being made. So then we go back and then we find what is the starting ratio. So we got 350 are CC, and that's out of 500 cookies. And they made 1,500 cookies. So in order to complete our proportions table, we're going to have to start by doing a little mental math. If 350 are chocolate chip, how many are not chocolate chip out of 500? 500 minus 350 means 150 are not chocolate chip. Now we set up the comparison. We have the given ratios to make the solve. 500 times 3 is 1,500. We don't need the prediction for chocolate chip because it's not asking. So then we come down here and we use the same multiple. The cookies is times 3. So the not chocolate chip is also times 3. Continue on question number 5. Now the ratio comparison is going to be X and Y. And the X and Y, borrowing some words from elementary school, X is your input, Y is your output. So I want to borrow that ratio comparison of output over input. If we take that ratio, we can always find the output over the input to find out what is the rate or what is being happened. So we've been dividing to find the unit rate. So here inside the graph, we can see exactly there's a point where it crosses X and Y together, where 6 is the output when 5 is the input. So the ratio of 6 to 5 and the unit rate is 6 to 5. If the input was 1, then looking closely on the graph, the output would be 6/5. So make a fraction of output over input. How do we change that to a decimal? You're going to divide the top of the fraction by the bottom of the fraction. So number 6, borrowing the output input idea. If Lauren paid $165, which is the output of the ticket cost times 6, then you're going to put cost over tickets. Cost over tickets. Some students know automatically that you're just going to go ahead and divide these to find your unit cost. So one ticket, so we have 165, which was the output, the ticket cost, divided by how many tickets. So divide that out, and I believe you may have to do 2 decimal place value because it's money. Okay, look at the ratio is given for number 7, so you don't have to set up the ratio. What you need to look at is factors. You need to look at the ratio comparisons. So you're going to look at the first one from 2 to 3 and 5 to 4. Well, 2 to 3 is increasing, 5 to 4 is decreasing. So if you find the ratio table that's 5, 4, 3, 2 and 2, 3, 4, 5, that's an obvious wrong answer. Cross it out. So then go down through the tables and you're looking for multiples of 2. So here we have 2, 4, 6, which is times 2 times 3. So this should be times 2, which is 10, which is not the same thing. So we just eliminated 2 answer choices. Now we go up to the top to see which one is remaining. So this one is times 3. 5 times 3 is 15. 5 times 4 is 20. 5 times 7 is 35. 2 times 3, using the same factor, 2 times 4, and 2 times 7. So find the table that matches up. 2, 6, 8, 14, 5, 15, 20, 35. Okay, number 8. Number 8, we have pints and ounces, pints, ounces and pints. So set up your ratio table. We have ounces as being compared to pints. So there's our comparison. Now we go over there and take the given rate. So 1 pint is 16 ounces. And then we go up into the word problem of 56 fluid ounces, and it's asked to change 56 fluid ounces into pints. So the ratio comparison, if we are going from ounces to pints, we're going from 16 down to 1. You're dividing by 16. So over on the other side, you're going to divide ounces by 16 on the left side and divide ounces by 16 on the right side. So 56 divided by 16. Moving on, number 9, pet shelter, which one is equivalent? So we're going to take the given ratio, and it looks like we're just dealing with numbers. We don't have to worry about labels on this. So you have 18 over 30, and it looks like we can simplify this ratio by 6, 18 divided by 6, 30 divided by 6, and simplify the ratio, and then we're going to put that into colon form. Number 10, the given ratio is yards in feet. Doesn't matter which one you put on top or which one you put on bottom, just keep them together. So 1 yard, 3 feet, and then up here we have 300 yards. Okay, and it looks like if we are starting with yards and we're going to feet, we're going to multiply by 3. So using the proportion table, in order to keep it equivalent, you're going to multiply both the starting yards times 3 and then the requested yards times 3. Number 11, we have pounds and ounces. And pounds. So the starting ounces is 16 ounces compared to 1 pound. Now we go over to the right and fill in the other information that's given, which is pounds. Completing the ratio table, how do you go from 1 to 52? The pounds was multiplied by 52, so you are going to multiply the ounces by 52. And that will give you your conversion. Last one, number 12, have liters and milliliters. Liters, milliliters. Take your conversion. 1 liter is 1,000 milliliters. And the requested information is 0.07 for liters. From 1 to 1,000, you're multiplying by 1,000. So then you come over here and multiply by 1,000 also to solve for how many milliliters you'd have. Do not forget your decimal place value in your answer.